Hi there. Emma, I've got you down the concession, is that right? Yeah. You guys are?
Nicolette.
Great.
Amanda.
How you doing? Good? Yeah? So it's Peter, yeah?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, hi, nice to meet you, yeah. Okay, and then there's Marta.
That's me.
Oh, that is you. Sorry about that. Okay, well, hey, we're all here then. Woo! Right. Should we do a quick intro over here? Kind of get a little bit away from the road, and I'll do a quick intro, let people know what we're doing, and then we'll rock on. Right, everyone. Morning. How are you all doing? You're all looking forward to a proper serious forage. I think we're going to have some good foraging. I'm feeling positive and hopeful anyway. I've met some of you before, I haven't met others of you, so I'll just introduce myself. My name's Jesper. I'm a herbalist, medical herbalist by profession, but I've been doing wild food foraging since I was about 7 or 8 years old, which is the best part of 30 years. I just went out to school one day and spotted a mushroom growing out in a crack in the pavement, and it happened to be an exact replica of one of the mushrooms on this chart, and it was a shaggy ink cap. I identified it, took it back home. My parents decided we'd eat it, so cooked it up, ate it, and then on the back of eating it, I hated mushrooms as well at the time. I didn't eat any mushrooms, but the fact that I'd harvested it myself meant I had to eat it. So on the back of that, I got some foraging books and just slowly got more and more into it. Even though it's November, late November, it's pretty bleak time of year. All the leaves are coming down off the trees, and there doesn't look like a lot around. If you think about berries and nuts, they're past on the whole, but there are some that are still around. Actually, just walking into the park entrance, I've spotted some wild food already. Should we go and have a look back over here? There's a couple of things. It's so mild, we've got loads of mushrooms that are still around, which we totally wouldn't expect to have this time of year. It's just sheer luck. This one here is a honey fungus. It's called the honey fungus because it develops a honey-like colour on top. It's actually also the largest known organism on the planet. Yeah. There's a site of honey fungus that's been growing in North America has been located, which covers about 250 acres. And this is the fruit of the mushroom, and underground are lots of very fine threads, mycelial threads, which is basically the bulk of the mushroom. It's like this is like the tip of the iceberg. Even though these threads are tiny, they actually, in terms of weight and bulk, they make up far more than the content of the mushroom that's above ground. And they spread over huge distances. A lot of fungi are much larger in terms of volume and area they cover than you know, blue whales and elephants, for example. So be absolutely certain before you do go around with anything. So this is the wonderful honey fungus. I think the rest may have been collected. Where was that?
Just got it back in here.
Oh, wonderful. And here we go. What do we think? Honey fungus?
Has it got sulphur in the title? I don't know.
It hasn't got sulphur in the title, but there is something called the sulphur tuft, which is a common lookalike species which is poisonous. This is, look underneath. Yeah. This one, on the top, you've got the scaly marking, which is quite similar. You know, you can see the comparison between the two now. If you've seen that and you said that's a honey fungus, and then a week later you go out and you find that, you go, ah, that was pretty much like the honey fungus. It's only when you can do the comparison you can see they're not the same. This is called the shaggy foliota, and it's got a nice scaly stem. And the spore print of this is a kind of chocolatey brown colour. So it's very different. In terms of smell, this smells really aromatic. It's got a really pleasant smell. It's one of my favourite smelling mushrooms. It smells like it should really be edible.
I think I saw something on River Cottage that said the mushrooms grow on the trees, on the branches, but there's nothing there. I work with young people who go off track. One young lad, he has learning disabilities, but he really is into cooking. He loves it. I think he would quite like to do the activity with myself, and I'd like to do it with him. I'd love for him to come on one of these events. I'd need to experience if it was suitable for him. Yeah, it's nice to sort of test it out yourself.
Come on, Seb. Should we carry on looking?
To be honest, the majority of edible mushrooms should be eaten cooked. But there are a handful which are very good in their raw state and are enjoyed in that way. This is a species which you can eat raw. I say you can eat raw really very loosely. Does anyone want to sample it?
Only if you explain what you mean.
I'll not explain until you sample it. You can pass it on. See, the interesting thing there is, this is a mushroom that gives you an indication that you might not want to eat it by its intense colours. If you nibble it, its bitterness wards you off. If you were to plough on regardless and say, oh, I'm going to eat it, it will poison the hell out of you. It's a species which is quite commonly collected and attempted to be eaten by people because they think it's the honey fungus. However, they don't get past the first few mouthfuls because it tastes foul. There's loads of risks, particularly with fungi. There are masses of poisonous species. If you were to go out and randomly harvest 5 different species that you find and eat them, the likelihood of not poisoning yourself are really slim. However, the chances of killing yourself are really quite small. On a stump over there. Okay, well, let's go and get some more of those then.
Maybe. I'm just really interested in wild food and stuff, and done lots of foraging and things. I've got a book over the summer and went cycling around Cornwall, and I just tried to eat a lot of wild food and stuff. So, since there's an expert, I thought I'd try and come along and see what I can learn.
I always have the thought that if, you know, the supermarket closes down or there's a power failure and all the supermarkets just close down, then what are you going to do? What are you going to eat? You know, because everybody relies on external sources for food, don't they? And we don't really look to ourselves to fend for ourselves. So, yeah, it's good to have some knowledge because you just never know.
I'm working on the theory that he said he won't let anyone obviously cook anything that's inedible, so I'm just sticking everything in, everything I see, one of each. Got some insects on them, just blowing them off.
You know, you've got to keep seeing them over and over again, and then you actually might work out one at least that you can recognise, isn't it?
Yeah. The dome cap, exemplified by the dome on the cap.
And then turn it over.
And then it doesn't have this. It's got the creamy white appearance as opposed to the salmon. What I usually do is just cut the end off here.
Foragers in the making.
Yeah.
There are 2 compounds in this turkey tail mushroom that have an immune stimulating effect. One called PSP, and the most exciting one is called PSK. Polysaccharide Karoa. It's a species which this mushroom is actually cultivated in Japan to such an extent that they spend in excess of £500 million worth of their healthcare budget on this mushroom alone. And they do that because the research is there to show that actually used alongside chemotherapy, alongside radiotherapy, it has dramatic effects. It improves the effect of those treatments, it reduces the side effects, and enhances life expectancy. And in some cancers by more than 5 years. the PSK in here has a marked and a proven stimulating effect upon the immune system. It's not just used for cancer, in spite of that, the fact that there's a primary focus. It has some anti-inflammatory activity, and it's also used for broadly for any situation which demands some immune stimulation. So for HIV, for AIDS, and for someone who's just debilitated and weakened, say post-surgery, for example. It's an amazing mushroom. It makes sense to use medicine soundly, and I'm not opposed to conventional medicine at all. I think it's a really powerful tool and has its place most certainly. I think it's probably relied on far too extensively in the modern world, where we do have natural plants that can solve problems really effectively without side effects. But I think the two in conjunction also work very well together. You've got a good 1.5 kilos of things just in that basket alone. So I guess between us we must have at least 5 kilos, probably more. So I think we should just crack straight back up, back on the wall, meet you there in 5 minutes. I'll get a trolley out with all the cooking stuff on, and we'll get cooking straight away.
Come on then. Feed me now.
I needed to check that bag, but I've got loads of stuff you can't eat in it.
Help yourself to a piece of bread to go on your plate if you want.
I'd never have a mushroom butter, but yes, they're good.
You are the only one so far who put a poisonous one in their basket. Not even just a poisonous one, a poisonous two. 3, 4. And these two down here, I've probably got to be fried chicken mushrooms, but I'm not taking the risk given that you've been mixing them up. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hooray! Anyone else got any? Right, lovely. Yeah. Lovely. Excellent. Yeah. Yeah.
See you guys.
Look after yourself. Have a nice evening. Enjoy your mushrooms. Don't poison yourself. Word of warning: don't go picking your own. Excellent. Great to catch up. Did you have a bag for stuff, or you got one? Brilliant. Okay. Yeah. Lovely to meet you. Excellent. Cheers.